Hello, Toon Army! What an absolutely brilliant day to be talking about our magnificent Newcastle United, the best team in the world. I hope you're all having a fantastic weekend and ready to dive into some proper, exciting transfer news about our beloved Magpies. I've got two absolutely cracking stories to share with you today that are going to get every Newcastle fan's heart racing. Both of these developments show just how ambitious our club has become and why everyone in football is taking notice of what we're building at St. James's Park. Here are two questions I want you all to think about as we dive into today's discussion. What do you think about Newcastle potentially making a move for Brighton's Joao Pedro? And could he be the perfect striking partner for Alexander Isak that we've all been dreaming about? And how does it make you feel knowing that Manchester City are sniffing around our brilliant Tino Livramento, but Eddie Howe and the club are showing they won't be pushed around when it comes to keeping our best players? Drop your thoughts in the comments below because I'm dying to hear what the Toon Army thinks about these developments. Right then, let's start with some absolutely buzzing transfer news that's got me proper excited about our attacking options for next season. According to reports from The Telegraph, our beloved Newcastle United have set their sights on Brighton's Brazilian forward, Joao Pedro. And honestly, this could be exactly the kind of signing that takes us to the next level. Now, I know what some of you might be thinking. Another striker when we've got Alexander Isak firing on all cylinders. But hear me out, because this could be the masterstroke that Eddie Howe has been planning all along. Football has evolved, hasn't it? The days of playing with just one striker are long gone, and the best teams in the world are using multiple forwards who can interchange, create space for each other, and cause absolute havoc for opposing defences. Joao Pedro had a decent campaign with Brighton last season. And when I say decent, I mean the lad showed real quality that caught the eye of our scouting team. Playing in 30 matches across all competitions, he managed to find the back of the net 10 times and provided 7 assists. Those aren't just numbers on a page. They represent a player who can both finish chances and create opportunities for his teammates, which is exactly what we need to complement our existing attacking setup. What really excites me about Pedro is his versatility. The Brazilian can operate as a central striker, but he's also comfortable drifting out to the left wing when needed. This kind of flexibility would give Eddie Howe so many tactical options during matches. Imagine Pedro and Isak rotating positions, pulling defenders out of their comfort zones, creating space for each other to exploit. It would be like watching a chess master at work, with our forwards constantly finding new ways to unlock stubborn defences. The statistics show that Pedro averaged 1.94 shots per 90 minutes in the Premier League, which tells us he's not shy about getting into scoring positions. Yes, his shot accuracy of 35.7% could use some improvement, but that's where our coaching staff comes in. Eddie Howe and his team have worked wonders with players before, helping them refine their finishing and become more clinical in front of goal. Remember how much Anthony Gordon improved under Howe's guidance? Pedro could experience a similar transformation. At just 23 years old, Pedro represents the perfect blend of current ability and future potential. He's already adapted to the physical demands and pace of the Premier League during his time at Brighton, so there wouldn't be that lengthy adjustment period we sometimes see with foreign signings. He knows how to compete against Premier League defenders, understands the tactical nuances of English football, and has proven he can handle the pressure of performing at this level week in and week out. The fact that Pedro is under contract at Brighton until 2028 means we'd need to make a substantial offer to secure his services. But that's exactly the kind of ambition we want to see from our club. We're not in the market for bargain basement signings anymore. We're targeting quality players who can genuinely improve our squad and help us compete with the biggest clubs in Europe. What really gets me excited is imagining Pedro linking up with our existing attacking players. The connection he could develop with Bruno Guimaraes and Sandro Tonali in midfield. The overlapping runs he could make with Dan Burn or Tino Livramento providing width. And most importantly, the partnership he could form with Alexander Isak up front. These are the kinds of combinations that win trophies and create magical moments that we'll be talking about for years to come. This potential signing also sends a clear message about our intentions for the upcoming season. We're not content with just participating in European competition. We want to make a real impact, challenge for major trophies, and establish ourselves as one of the premier clubs in English football. Players like Pedro are exactly what we need to achieve those ambitions. Now then, let's talk about something that's going to make every single one of us Newcastle fans absolutely proud of how our club is conducting itself in the transfer market. Manchester City have come sniffing around our brilliant Tino Livramento, but Eddie Howe and the club have told them exactly where they can stick their interest. And I couldn't be more delighted about it. This story perfectly encapsulates everything that's changed about Newcastle United since our takeover. We're no longer a selling club that has to bend over backwards when the big boys come calling. We're building something special at St. James's Park, and we're not about to let anyone dismantle it piece by piece. No matter how much money they wave in our faces, Tino Livramento has been absolutely sensational for us, hasn't he? The lad had an outstanding second campaign on Tyneside, playing a major part in our Champions League qualification and helping us lift that beautiful Carabao Cup trophy. Watching him bomb forward down that right flank, delivering crosses with pinpoint accuracy and tracking back to defend with the determination of a proper Newcastle player. It's been a joy to behold. What makes this situation even more satisfying is how decisively our club has handled City's approaches. According to Chronicle Live, Newcastle have rejected initial approaches from intermediaries, and the message sent to the citizens has been crystal clear: not for sale. That's the kind of backbone we want to see from our club. No more rolling over and accepting whatever scraps the bigger clubs are willing to throw our way. The fact that City view Livramento as a top target ahead of the FIFA Club World Cup just proves what we've all known for months. We've got ourselves a proper gem of a player. At just 22 years old, Tino represents the future of the right-back position at Newcastle United. Yes, we've still got Kieran Trippier, who at 34 continues to offer experience and quality, but Livramento is the long-term solution we've been searching for. What I love most about this whole situation is Eddie Howe's unwavering commitment to keeping our best players. The gaffer said it perfectly back in May when he declared, "We want to keep our best players." That's not just the wish from me. That's the wish from everyone at the club. Those aren't just empty words. They're backed up by actions. And this Livramento situation proves it. The astronomical offer that would be required to even make Newcastle consider selling shows just how highly we rate our young right back. And why shouldn't we? Livramento brings pace, energy, attacking threat, and defensive solidity. He's adapted brilliantly to our style of play, formed excellent partnerships with the players around him, and become a genuine fan's favourite in the process. Think about what selling Livramento would represent. It would be a step backwards. A return to the dark days when we had to cash in on our best talents just to balance the books. But those days are firmly behind us now. We're building a squad capable of competing at the highest level, and that means holding on to players like Tino, who are absolutely crucial to our future success. The timing of City's interest is particularly telling, isn't it? They're preparing for the Club World Cup and looking to strengthen their squad, but they're not going to do it at Newcastle's expense. We're no longer anyone's feeder club, and this situation sends a clear message to every other club in world football. If you want our best players, you'd better be prepared to pay through the nose. And even then, we might still tell you to get lost. What this whole saga also demonstrates is the incredible transformation Eddie Howe has overseen at our club. When he arrived, we were fighting relegation battles and losing our best players to clubs with bigger budgets. Now we're rejecting approaches from the champions of England and telling them our players aren't for sale. That's the greatest transformation in Premier League history, and I'm not being dramatic when I say that. Livramento heading off with England under-21s for the European Championships is just the icing on the cake. Our lad representing his country at a major tournament, showing the world what Newcastle United players are capable of achieving. When he returns for pre-season, he'll be coming back to a club that values him, protects him, and sees him as fundamental to our future success. The contrast with how we're handling our transfer business this summer couldn't be clearer. We're being smart about incoming signings, refusing to break our financial structures, even when players like Brian Mbumo make outrageous wage demands. But we're also showing steel when it comes to keeping our key players. That's exactly the kind of balanced approach that builds sustainable success. This Livramento situation fills me with so much optimism about where we're headed as a football club. We're not just building a team for next season, we're building an institution that can compete with anyone in world football for years to come. Players like Tino are the foundation stones of that project, and the fact that we're prepared to tell Manchester City to do one shows just how serious we are about our ambitions. Well, that's all from St James's Park for today, lads and lasses. Two absolutely brilliant stories that show exactly why Newcastle United is heading in the right direction under Eddie Howe and our ambitious ownership. Whether we're targeting quality players like Joao Pedro or protecting our crown jewels like Tino Livramento, everything about our approach screams ambition and quality. Keep supporting the best team in the world, and I'll be back with more updates soon. Away the lads!